In this video, we're going to go through on PSLE 2018 paper 1. So if you want to get your free PSLE 10-year series, you can go to easy1.sg/PSLE. So let's get started on the first question. All right, so first question, which of the following is the same as 80, 40 meters? All right, so in this case, we know that 1000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So in this case, we also know that 80 or 8040 meters is equal to 8000. This is equal to 8000 meters plus 40 meters. So in this case, 1000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So 8000 meters is equal to 8 kilometers. So therefore, 8040 meters is equal to 8 kilometers and 40 meters. All right. So this is option number 4. There you go. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. A, B, C, D are points on the square grid. Which point, when joined to P and Q, forms a right angle triangle? All right. Over here, what we can do is we can, in a way, draw out the different lines. Okay, so let me just zoom this in, and let's also get our handy dandy ruler. So my makeshift ruler. So what we see over here. Okay, so in this case, how are we going to measure whether something is a right angle? So what you can do is you can draw lines. So you can draw A, and then you can just join the two lines to P and Q, and then using your ruler, right, which I recommend, is to see which part of the angle is a right angle. So in this case over here, we could see that APQ is a right angle because it is literally 90 degrees, which is basically your ruler over here. So we already get the answer A. But let's try the others as well. So let's use a different color. PBQ, right? In this case, is it a right angle? Right. So the thing is, we need to measure all the angles to see whether they're right angle. So in this case, this is not right angle. This is not right angle. And then what about this side over here? Okay. This is also not right angle as well. Right. We can measure it using the ruler. Okay. So then we just put a cross over here. Okay. Cross with a red. Okay. So for this, what I want to do as well is I want to put, I think I put this as green to be correct. Okay, and this will be green. Then I'm going to move this over here. Right, so PQ. Okay, so this is correct in this case for A. Right, so for what about C? So let's try C with a different line. So C like this, right? So let's measure. Obviously, both sides are not what do you call this? Right angle. And then let's try C over here. Nope, that's not it. So it's also a cross. So I see over here. And then lastly, let's do D. D is, let's do orange or purple. Right. So in this case over here, we can just draw the angle. Right. Same thing. PQD. So P and Q forms a right angle triangle. Okay, so over here, let me just remove this dot using the ruler, makeshift ruler. So let's see. Okay, almost there for the PQ. But if I were to align this, let me just copy and paste, right? To just see the purple line, very close. Okay, I thought the PQ, I mean the right angle is there, but it's not. Okay, and obviously this angle is not. So for D, it's also not as well. Okay, so therefore the answer to this is A. A, right? A with this as well. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. Okay, so what is the length of the paper clip? That's what you see over here. All right, so we can measure the number of gaps, right? We have one gap. Okay, so we have one gap over here. Let's make it a little bit small. So we have one gap, two gap, three gap, four, and five. Okay, so five gaps is 1 centimeter. So one gap is equal to 1 divided by 5, which is 0.2 centimeters. All right, so now we know that. Then we can measure this. So this 3 and 3.4. So I can write down here is 3.4 centimeters. So if you think this is 3.4 centimeters, you are not correct. So the length of the paper clip is actually equal to 3.4 minus the starting one. You see? 1 over here, right? So I'm just going to put 1, right? So this minus 1 is equal to 2.4 centimeters. So this is option number 2. Okay, there you go. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. Right. What was the height of the plant in June? Okay, so let's zoom this in. All right, so height of plant. So let's also measure how many gaps there are, right? So let's draw a rectangle. Oops, wow. Okay, so the rectangle is pretty big. So one gap, two gap, three, four, and five. So five gaps is equal to 20. One gap is equal to 20 divided by 5, which is equal to 4 centimeters. So now let's zoom this out. Where is June? So June over here, it's this line. So this line is basically just two gaps. Gaps is equal to 2 times 4, which is 8 centimeters. So therefore, June is equal to, in this case, let's go up, right? So 60 plus 8. So 60 plus 8 is equal to 68 centimeters. All right. So the answer is option number 4, 68 centimeters. Question number 5. In which of the following periods did the plant grow the most? Okay, so in this case, if you are able to see right the steepest line, then you are probably correct. In this case, it's actually from May to June, but it's better if we double check it. So in this case, let's also see the what do you call this? Okay, so let's see the gaps. So over here, we have one gap, two gap, three, four, and five. So 5 gaps is equal to 20. One gap is equal to 20 divided by 5. This will become 4 centimeters. Okay, so we can label each one. So for March, it is in this one, 1, 2, and 3. So this is 12 centimeters. Okay, let me make this a little bit small. 12 centimeters. Okay, what about April? This is 24 centimeters. Right, so 24 from 12 to 24. Okay, in this case, this will then just be plus 12 over here. So I'm just going to put plus 12. Okay, so plus 12. All right, so let's move to the next one, May. So May is 44 centimeters. So I'm going to put here 44. Right, from 24 to 44, this is, in this case, plus 20. Right, over here. So all right, so for June over here, if we were to look at it, this should be 68 centimeters. 68. So the difference over here would then be equal to, okay, what did I write here? So this plus 22. So 44 to 68 is 24. Okay. And then last one for June. June is 84. Okay, it's just one line above 80. So in this case over here, this will be 84. Okay, so 84 centimeters. So 84 centimeters, this will then be 2016, right? 16 over here. Okay, so the answer to this question should be from May to June, which is plus 24. So May to June in this case over here. All right. So next one is question 6. Four letters Z, E, S, T are shown on a square grid. How many of the letters have a line of symmetry? So we have Z, E, S, and T. All right. So what about the first one, Z? So if we were to look at it, the Z has a line symmetry. If I were to just draw a line, nope, this is not a line symmetry. This is not a line of symmetry as well. It's a cool design, but it's not a line symmetry. So in this case, over here, Z is an X. Okay, let's move on to the next one. How about E, right? So E over here, there is a line of symmetry in this case, which is this half over here. So maybe what I can do is I'll make this into the line of symmetry as blue. Okay, so now with this, I can just put a tick over here to say this is correct in this case over here. Okay, let's move on. What about S? Okay, S, we don't really have a line of symmetry. What about the other side? Wow, very nice design, but not really. So in this case, is an X for me. Okay, so I'm gonna put the X right here. Okay, and then lastly, what about T? T, there is a line of symmetry, which is in the middle. That's what you see over here. So therefore, it is a tick for me as well. That's what I see over here. Okay, so that means for this, there is two line of symmetry. Okay, there you go. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Question number 7. In a class, each pupil chose one animal for their class t-shirt. The pie chart shows their choices. What fraction of the class chose tiger? Okay, so we have dolphin and then we have tiger. So what is dolphin, right? So dolphin over here is a right angle, quarter circle, which means it's 1/4. So in this case over here, if you want to get the tiger is basically 1 minus 210 minus 310 minus 110 and then minus 1/4. Okay, 1/4 over here. So one thing I want to show you is we can actually just not change everything yet. We can just minus this off first, right? So this is basically 10 out of 10 and then minus everything else first. Okay, minus 1/4. And then after that, in this case, we can just have 10 minus 2 minus 3 minus 1. This will then be equal to 2, 3, 5, 6, 4. So 4 out of 10 minus 1/4. So then we have the lowest common multiple. So this should be 20 for the denominator. So this will be 8 out of 20 minus this should be 5 out of 20. So in this case, 8 minus 5 will be 3 out of 20. So in this case, the tiger is 3 out of 20. There you go. Let's move on to the next question. Question 8. Arrange the following numbers from the largest to the smallest. 6, comma 6 is to 3, comma 6.03. Okay, so if I were to pull this out, so 6, right, will become 6.00. So convert all numbers to two decimal places. Okay, 6.00, 6.3 is equal to 6.30, and you have 6.03 lah. Okay, so in this case, which one is the smallest? So the smallest is actually 6.00. Okay, and the largest is 6.30. So imagine they are just hundreds, right? 600, 630, and 603. So 6.30 is the largest in this case over here. So largest is from the left. So largest 6.3, and then the smallest is 600 or 6 itself. Okay, not 600, 6.00. Okay, right? That's it. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question number 9. The figure shows a cuboid with a square base and a height of 2 centimeters. The area of the shaded face is 18 centimeters square. What is the volume of the cuboid? Right. So in this case, we know that this is 18 centimeters square. Oh yeah, SQU. So we know this whole thing is 18 centimeter square, right? This surface area. So basically, what is the length over here, right? So shaded face is equal to uh, height times length. So we know that the height is equal to 2 centimeters. Okay, so that means length is equal to, in this case, shaded face divided by height. And shaded face is 18 and divided by height is 2. That means this is 9 centimeters. Okay, so we can write down here 9 centimeters. Okay, and let's make this all like this. Okay, and let me put a little arrow here as well, just so that we can fit in. All right, so now we know that this is 9 centimeters. So we know this is also a cuboid with a square base. So square base means is equal to length is equal to height. So length is equal to breadth. So square base means length is the same as breadth. That's what I see over here. So that means breadth, all right, breadth is equal to 9 centimeter as well. So I'm gonna put this here as well. 9 centimeters. Okay. So since we know that this is 9 centimeters, we can find the volume, right? So volume is equal to length times breadth times height, which is equal to 9 times 9. Oops, times 9. Okay, times 2, which is 81 times 2, which is 162 centimeter cube. There you go. So it's 162, option number 4. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 10. The table shows the number of pupils with the following scores. A higher score means a better performance. Prizes were given to the top 9. Arjun won a prize. What was the lowest score he could score? What was the lowest he could score? Okay. So if you look at this over here, wait, let me zoom this in and move this up. Okay. So if you were to look carefully, he must be in top 9. So we have 20, which is one student. Oops, one student. Okay. Then we have 18, which is the second highest. 18, which is 3 student. Okay, so 9 student. Then we have 17. So 20 score, 18 score, and 17 score is equal to 5. So 5 students. Okay. So that means total for 2018. Nobody scored 17. Okay. Total students for 2018-17 is 1 plus 3 plus 5, which is equal to 9. So that means lowest score must be 17. 17 lah, right? So the answer to this question is 17, which is in this case option number 4. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 11. The original price of a file was Y dollars. Kumar bought 10 files. He was given a discount for every 2 files. How much did he pay altogether? So total price, okay, total cost is equal to, so one file is equal to dollars Y. Oops. And then 10 files, not fulls, files is equal to 10 times dollars Y, or just Y, which is equal to 10 Y dollar. Ooh, 10. Let me just put this. All right, $10 Y. Okay, over here. Okay, so now we have 10 files as $10 Y. So at the same time, he was given discount for $1 for every 2 files. So 2 files is equal to $1 discount. 10 files is equal to 10 divided by 2 times 1 equal to $5 discount. So therefore, paid total paid is equal to 10y minus 5. And there you go. So that's the answer lah. 10y minus 5. We go bracket, put the dollar sign at the front. Okay, so the answer is option number 3. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 12, right? Let me just put this like that. Okay, so the figure shows a this is a pyramid. Which of the following is a net of a pyramid? Okay, so you have to remember what is a net of the pyramid. So in this case, so let's go through each option. So option number 1 over here. In order, this is not correct. So in this case, I'll just put an X on this. Okay, so let me just make it smaller. X on this and X on this. So in order for this to be correct, what we need to do is we need to, do I have a, okay, I think I do have a triangle, right? Make it a bit straight. So for this, we need to, okay, let me rotate this. All right. Okay, so it needs to be something like this. Okay, so we're gonna put green. All right, so this is the correct one. Okay, I think these are equilateral triangles, so like that. Okay, so if you want to have net the for this, then it should look like this. Okay, dun dun ding dun, and then put a tick, put a tick, put a tick. Okay, there you go. Right. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So is option number 2 correct? Let's see. Option number 2 is yes, it is correct. Very good. So I'm just gonna put tick here. Let's double check. Let's go to option number 3. So option number 3, okay, so there is an extra one. So the extra one is which one? What do you think is the extra one? So if you compare 2 and 3, which one is the extra one? So if you were to say this one, then you're right. So this is wrong. So let me just grab this and paste it over here. So we should have this, somewhere here. Okay, so this is the correct one. All right, let's move on to the last one, which is this. Yeah. So for this, this is similar to this, but this is where the, yeah, this is the, which one is the wrong one? Okay, so if you say this is the wrong one, then you're right. Okay, so this is the wrong one. So where should we put the correct one? Okay, so the correct one, in this case over here is pop, pop, pop. Okay, then actually we can just put it here actually, like this. There you go. So yeah, that's it. So the answer is option number 2. Yay! There you go. All right, let's move on to the next one. Question number 13. All right, so the figure is formed by joining 2 quarter circles, radius 4 centimeters. So find the parameter of the figure, round your answer to the nearest whole number, take pi as 3 quarter. Okay, so the radius over here, all right, let me put this as this one. So radius is 4. That's what I see over here. Okay, so we want to find the parameter of the figure. So we also need to get this one as well. So we also need to get this. So let me put this as red. So at least you can see. All right, so which we need to find basically one of the and then we just multiply by 2. So over here, is it 4? It's actually just 3, right? Because we minus 4 and 1. Okay, so first let's find the quarter circle parameter. which in this case is 1/4 times, we need to find the diameter, not diameter, so it's basically pi, 2 pi r lah, right? 2 pi r. So we have 1/4 times 2 times 3.14 times 4. So we can cancel 1 4. I will just move this thing 2. So 1/4 and 4 is just 1 times 3.14 times 2, which is 6.28. So in this case over here, this is 6.28, right? Okay, so now we have the circle, quarter circle parameter. Then we have 1/4 circle parameter, circle parameter with the two straight lines, okay, which is equal to 6.28 plus 4 plus 3, which is equal to 13.28. So 2 quarter circle parameter is equal to 13.28 times 2, which is basically 26.56, and we need to round up to the nearest, which is 27 centimeters. So the answer to this question is 27 centimeters. So we see over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 14. Rectangle ACEF is made out of two rectangles and two squares. BC is equal to 2 centimeters and CD is 3 centimeters. What fraction of the rectangle ACF is shaded? Okay, so over here, what we need to do is we need to know what are the different heights. So in this case, we know BC is 2 centimeters. So I'm going to put here BC 2 centimeters. Pop. All right. Pop. Okay, so C and B, and this is 2 centimeters. Since we know C and B is 2 centimeters, that means this whole thing is 2 centimeters. Since since that this is squares, so let me also highlight the squares as well. So I'm gonna put this as red, and this is as red. Okay, red, and then this is blue, and this is blue as nope. Okay, this one is blue as well. Okay, so that means for this case, right, this is also 2 centimeters. So I generally, just don't want to. Okay, so this is also 2 centimeters. So I see over here. And then CD is 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters. All right. So now we have an idea of how this whole thing looks like. Okay, so now okay, so in this case over here, how do we then calculate the different shaded area? So oops, what I can do is let me just put it like this, so it's simpler to see, right? Like this and like this. Okay, like this. Okay. So with that said, so let's find the area of ACEF is equal to the length times breadth, right? So it should be 4 times 5. So this whole thing is 4 times 5 is equal to 20 centimeter square. So now the next thing is we want to find two different triangles, the shaded triangles. Okay, let's zoom this in. So the first triangle that we're looking for is the first one, the top one. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. Okay, so in this case, let's find the red triangle area. So what do you think it is? Half times what's the base and what's the height? So in this case over here, the base is 3 centimeters times what's the height is 2 centimeters. Okay, and this will be just be half times, oops, this will be equal, this will be half times 6, which is equal to 3. So 3 centimeters square. All right, so now the next one is let's do a blue one. Blue or maybe yellow. Okay, oh wow. Okay, nice, nice. I like this. So the yellow one, what we need to do is, since we know that this is the triangle, and we also know that there is this dotted line, which is also the what do you call this? The height. Okay, so that means the yellow triangle area is equal to half, same thing, half times base times height. Whoops, well, what was that? Okay, half times base times height. So the base here is 3, and the height is also 2, and that is equal to same thing, 3 centimeters square. Wow, didn't know that. Okay, last one, then basically shaded area or total shaded area is equal to 3 plus 3. Let me put an arrow. 3 plus 3 equal to 6. Now, fraction shaded is equal to 6 out of 20. And in this case, will be 3 out of 10. So that means it's option number 3. There you go. So that's the answer. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 16. Write down one decimal between 2.1 and 2.2. Okay, so we have 2.1 and 2.2. Let's draw it out. Okay, so let's have a line. Okay, make it a bit larger, extra large. We have this and that. Okay, so we have 2.1 and we have 2.2. Okay, so if you want to have the middle one, like this, so what do we need? So 2.1, 2.2, that means we have to have a 0 here and another 0 here. So think of it is in the middle, right? Right. So 2.10 plus 2.20 is equal to 4.30. And then we just divide by 2. So between 4.30 is equal to, no, 2.1 and 2.2 is basically 4.30 in this case, divided by 2. This will be 2.15. There you go. So yeah, that's it for this. So it's 2.15. 2.15. So I'm also going to write down 2.15 here. Can I write down here? 2.15. Yes. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 17. Okay, let me restart this. Okay, so question number 17. In the figure, AFC and BFE are straight lines. Find EFD. So let's draw the straight lines. That's what we'll see over here. So let me rate AFC and BFE is straight lines. That's what we see over here. I don't need caps lock on. So we know that angle BFA is equal to angle CFE because they are vertically opposite angles. So to get angle EFD is basically 72, 72 minus 5, which is 67 degrees. So let's see over here. Right, so the answer is 67 degrees. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 18. Find the value of 3m minus 1 plus m when m is equal to 7. So we can actually simplify this equation, right? So this is equal to 3m plus m minus 1, which is equal to 4m minus 1. Okay, so what's 4m? So if m is equal to 7, then 4m is equal to 7 or 4 times 7, which is equal to 28. So that means the answer, so 4m minus 1 is equal to 28 minus 1, which is equal to 27. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, 27. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 19. Water leaks from a tap at a rate of 5 milliliters per second. At this rate, how much water will leak from tap in 1 minute? So we know 1 minute is equal to how many seconds? 60 seconds. Okay, so 1 second will be 5 milliliters. Oops, 5 minutes leak. So what about 60 seconds? It's equal to 60 times 5, which is equal to 300 milliliters leak. So 300 milliliters is leaked. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question 20. Measure and write down the size of angle B. So let me get my protractor. All right, so we have our protractor over here. So first thing first is usually we'll ask you to, I recommend to actually put down notch so it's easier for you to measure using your protractor. So with this protractor over here, let's zoom this in, right? So let me align this nicely, right? So once you align this nicely on the line, okay, not really, it's on the line now. So next thing is we just align it, and then we see this, and we just see closely where it aligns to, closely to the line. This is 21 to 3, so it's 23. So the answer is 23 degrees. There you go. So that's the answer for B, 23 degrees. All right, let's move on. Oops, to the next question. Question 21. Three volumes are given below. Which is the largest? Okay, so we can convert this into uh, convert this to milliliters. All right, I spelled correctly. So 1.2 liters is equal to how many 1 liter plus how many liters. Okay, so in this case, we know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. So 0.1 liter is equal to 1000 divided by 10, which is equal to 100 milliliters. So 0.2 liters will then be equal to 100 times 2, which is 200 milliliters. So the answer to this is 200, well, liters, but 200 milliliters. All right, so we have that done. Next thing is 1/4. So 1/4 liters is basically 1000 times 1/4, which is the same as 1000 divided by 4. And in this case over here, right, let me just put it like this. This is equal to 250 milliliters. Okay, so that means 1/4 liter is equal to 1 liter and 250 milliliters. So the answer to this question, you probably see it there here, is 1/4 liters. That's what we see over here. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 22. Three volumes are given below, which is the smallest. So if I were to refer to the previous question over here, where we convert everything to milliliters, so 1 liter is 1000 milliliters, 0.1 liters is 1000 divided by 10, which is 100 milliliters. 0.2 liters will be 100 times 2, which is 200 milliliters. And then if you convert 1.2 liters, will be 1 liter plus 200 milliliters. Then for 1/4 liter, we will have 1000 times 1/4, and that will just be equal to 100 divided by 4, which is 250 milliliters. So 1/4 is 250 milliliters. So if I were to copy this and move back to the same question, Which one is the smallest? 1 liter 22 ml. That's all we see over here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. All right, question number 22. Find the value of 7.26 times 8. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. So we have to do the working. So let me just draw my workings. All right, so the workings will look something like this. So essentially, if I were to make this a bit bigger, so we have 6 times 8, which is 48. So I put the 8 over here and then put a 4 on top of the next digit, which is 2. Then we have 2 and then multiply by 8, which is 16 plus 4, which is 20. So we put 0 and then we put 2 on top of the next digit, which is 7. So 7 times 8, which is 56, plus 2, which is 58. That's what you see over here. So 7.26, right, times 8 is equal to 58.08. So I see over here. But we need to give your answer to the one decimal place. So we will round up 8 since 58.08. So this will be 58.1 because 8 is more than 5. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question 24. Let me close this. Aisha has a roll of wire 10.2 meters long. She cuts off 3 equal pieces. Each piece is 8 centimeters. What is the length of the remaining roll of wire? Give your answers in meters. Okay, so what we can do is we can just convert 8 centimeters to meters. Okay, so 8 centimeters is equal to how many meters? Right, so in this case, we can just write 100 centimeters is equal to 100 divided by, oops, where is it? Oh no, okay. So 100 centimeters divided by 100 equal to 1 meter. So 8 centimeters, okay, is equal to 8 divided by 100 is equal to 0.08 meters. So therefore, remaining is equal to 10.2 and then minus. So she cut 3 equal pieces off, which is 3 times uh, 0.08. So we'll do this to root 10.2 minus 0.8 times 3 is 0.24. So we can put this as 2.20. Okay. So if we were to minus this all together, so what will this give us? So you can do the workings. So if I were to do the workings, this should be 9 point. Okay, if I were to just simplify this equation, it's the same as minus 20 minus 0.2, 0.04. Okay, so now much easier. It will be 10.00 minus 0.04. And this will equal to 9.96. Okay, there you go. So the answer to this is 9.96 meters. All right, let's move on to the next question. Two whole numbers add up to 1037. What is the smallest difference between the two numbers? Write down these two numbers. So to get the smallest difference is we have the total divided by 2, something like that, right? Something like that. So for example, if you have 11 as the total, so for example, if we have 10 as the total, or 11 as the total, then number, the first number should be 6, second number, okay, should be 5. Something like this. So smallest difference from an odd number. Smallest difference from from an odd number is yeah, so something like that, which is basically total minus 1. So okay, how do I say this? But basically two numbers when add up with smallest difference add up to an odd number with smallest difference, which is basically the formula. It's odd number minus 1 and then divided by 2 in this case over here. Okay, right? So for example, if we have 11 as the added odd number, okay, so odd number is this, and then and then first number will be equal to the answer is equal to first number, then second number is equal to first number plus 1. Okay, so for example, with 11 as the odd number, so actually I'll write this like that. First number equal to added added odd number, then minus 1 divided by 2. There you go. All right. So for example, if you have 11 as the added odd number, so the first number will be 11 minus 1, and then we divided by 2, like this. Okay. Divided by 2 is 10 divided by 2, which is 5. Second number is 5 plus 1 equal to 6. Right. So now let's do that. So now, so first number will then be equal to 1037 minus 1. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing like that. Copy, paste. So 1037 minus 1 divided by 2. Okay. So this will then become 1036 divided by 2. And 1036 divided by 2 is basically 1000 plus 36 divided by 2. So for me, it's easier to break down the numbers. So that means 1000 divided by 2 plus 36 divided by 2, which is 500 plus 18, which is equal to 518 in this case over here. So that's the first number. So what about the second number? Second number is 518 plus 1, which is 519. Okay, so there you go. So there's the answer, 518 and 519. There you go. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question 26. Sally had 40 stamps and Ting had 32 stamps. After Sally gave some of her stamps to Ting, the number of stamps Sally and Ting had were in the ratio of 1 is to 2. How many stamps did Ting have in the end? So let's find the total number of stamps. So total stamps is equal to 40 plus 32, which is equal to 72, right? So then in the end, we have the total units is equal to 1 plus 2 equal to 3 units. So we know 3 units is equal to 72, right? And then 1 unit is equal to 72 divided by 3. This will be 24. 24. Yes, 24. Okay, so for this, 1 unit 72 divided by 3 is 24. So now the thing is, how many stamps did Ting have in the end? So Ting is what is the ratio? So it's actually 2 units, right? So 2 units, which is Ting in the end. In this case, 2 times 24, which is 48. So there you go. So the answer is 48. All right. All right, question 27. Nora used 1/5 of kg of flour to make muffins and half kg of flour to make cookies. After that, she had 360 grams of flour left. How many kilograms of flour did she have at first? So muffins is equal to 1/5 of a kilogram, which is also equal to 1/5 times 1000 grams, which is equal to 1000, same as this lah, divided by 5, 200 grams. So about cookies, I like cookies, is equal to half of a kilogram, which is also the same as half times 1000 grams, which is also equal to 1000 divided by 2, which is 500 grams. So now, how many kilograms did she have at first? So flour at first is equal to 360 plus 200 plus 500, which is equal to 560 plus 500, because to 160 1060 1060 grams of flour, and then 1060 grams grams is equal to 1060 divided by 1000, which is equal to 1.06 kilograms. There you go. So that's the answer. 1.06 kilograms at first. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 28. Jasmine formed two cuboids with unit cubes. The length, breadth, and height of the bigger cuboid are two times those of the smaller cuboid. She used 384 unit cubes to form the bigger cuboid. How many unit cubes did she use to form the smaller cuboid? So let's say, so this is cuboids, bigger cuboids. What's the difference between the cuboids? But okay, let's say the smaller cuboid has a length of has dot 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 length equal to 1 centimeter, breadth is 1 centimeter, and the height is equal to 1 centimeter. Okay, so that means the volume is equal to 1 times 1 times 1 equal to 1 centimeter cube. Oh, cube. All right, so and let's say the bigger cuboid, that means the bigger cuboid has, so basically just multiply, right? So 1 times 2 equal to 2, right? 1 times 2 equal to 2, and then 1 times 2 is equal to 2 centimeters. So you might be thinking, oh, they are just 2 times bigger because 2 times the length and breadth and height, right? No, you're wrong. It's actually 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8 centimeter cube. So that means the bigger cuboid is 8 times bigger, right? We are 8 times bigger. My text just like that, right? So that means the bigger cuboid is 8 times bigger. So or the smaller cuboid is 8 times smaller. So since the bigger cuboid is 384 in this case, right? 384 cubes, then the smaller cuboid is equal to 384 divided by 8. Right, so we need to calculate this. So for me, I always like to get as close to this. So 320 plus 64, right? Divided by 8. Yeah. Okay, so 320 is basically, oh, I forgot the divided by 8 part. Okay, so then let me just put this here. Okay, so 320 divided by 8, right? So it's 320 divided by 8 over here. So 320 is 40 plus 64 divided by 8 is 8 times 8. 8. This will be 48. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 48 cubes. There you go. All right, so the answer is 48. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 29. At first, Liz had an equal number of red and blue stickers. She gave away two-thirds of her stickers and some blue stickers. In the end, she was left with one quarter of her stickers. What fraction of blue stickers did Liz give away? So she had red and blue. Okay, so what we can do is we will have to find the lowest common multiple of 3 and 4, which is 12. So that means let's have 12 units for red and blue. Red, and then let's have 12 units for blue. Okay, so she gave away two-thirds of red stickers. So in this case, that means red gave away red is two-thirds. Let's have 12 units for red total. All right, at first. And then same thing as blue. So at least this is a bit more clear. So two-thirds times 12, which is equal to 12 divided by 3 times 2, which is, okay, in this case, right, 4 times 2, which is equal to 8. Then we know that the red stickers is 8 as well. So she gave away 8 units of red stickers. And then so uh left red, I guess, is equal to 12 minus 8, which is equal to 4 units. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so then we also know that the total, okay, total stickers is equal to 12 plus 12, which is 24. So left, total stickers left, right? In this case, it's 24 times 1 quarter, okay, which is the same as 24 divided by 4, which is 6 units. So total stickers is 24 units. So now we know this part. So we can find out how many blue stickers that are left. So blue stickers left is equal to basically total stickers left, right? Gonna put here minus uh red stickers, right? Gonna put here red stickers left. Okay, so minus red stickers, which is basically equal to total stickers 6 units minus 4 units equal to 2 units. Okay, so that means blue stickers given away, which is equal to 12 minus 2, which is 10 units. So fraction of blue stickers, right, given away in this case will then be equal to 10 divided by total, which is 24. And in this case, it should be 5 over 12. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 5 over 12. Sorry, what fraction of our blue stickers will give away? So not total. So this 10 out of 12. So it should be 5 over 6. Right? Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Let's move on to the last question. Question 30. The figure shows two circles. The diameter of the big circle is 3 times the diameter of the small circle. The diameter of the big circle is 42 centimeters. Find the area of the shaded part. So diameter of big circle is equal to 3 times of the small circle. So diameter circle. So small circle diameter. Okay, big circle diameter. So if you want to find the small circle diameter, it's basically equal to big circle diameter, right, divided by 3. So since we know the diameter of the big circle, then in this case, we can actually find out the small circle diameter. So in this case, the big circle diameter is just 42 divided by 3. This will give us 14 centimeters. So find the area of the shaded part. So let's get the big circle area. Area, okay, which is equal um to pi r square, right? So pi, then r times r. Okay, so that's the radius. So for the big circle radius is basically just 42 divided by 2, which is 21. Then small circle radius, it's 14 divided by 2. In this case over here, 14 divided by 2 will be 7. Okay, so big circle area will be 22 out of 7 times 7 times 7. So from this, we can just cancel the 7 from the fraction. So 22 times 7, which is equal to 154 centimeter square. So what about the small circle area? Same thing, right? So pi r square, so small circle area. So instead of, oh, this is a small circle, sorry. Small circle is this one. So the big circle area, in this case over here, will then be, instead of 7, it will be 21. Right, so it's just 21, and then this is 21. So 22 out of 7 times 21 times 21. Okay, so what we can do is we can just have 22 times 1, 7. Okay, times 21 times 21. Okay, so in this case, this will be 22 times 1, 7 times 21 is 3 times 21. This will then be equal to, okay, what's an easier way? I guess we have to, brute force. Okay, actually can get 3 times 21 is basically 63. Okay, so 22 is basically 20 plus 2. I always have a way out. Okay, 20 plus 2 times 63. Right, so that means it's just 20 times 63 plus 2 times 63. So 20 times 63 is 1260 plus 126. Okay, because they are the same number. And this will then become 1386. 1386. All right. Shaded part is equal to big circle area minus small circle area, which is equal to 1386 minus this 154. Okay, so double check. Okay, so minus 154. Okay, so 1386 minus 54. Okay, simply 1232. All right, 6 minus 4 is 2, 8 minus 5 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, so the answer is 1232